Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome to the Next Block, episode 89. With we have a special episode today with CEO of TravelX, Juan Pablo, and I know y'all excited for this one. Crypto for Change. How's it going?
It's going good, going good. Obviously, thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. We are finally in 2024. So happy new year to everybody out there.
Yes.
And it's looking, obviously, we got a great lineup of guests for the month of January already. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Obviously, yeah, we got TravelX today. And, we got Sean Ford from Input Output Global coming up soon. Possibly Michael Arrington from Arrington Capital, still trying to get that one lined up. And then we're going to be in and out January with Stacey Warden again, the CEO of the Algorand Foundation. So a lot to be excited about. Obviously, if you were watching the markets today, of course, we're recording on Wednesday. It's dropping on Thursday, so a little bit time difference. But we did have a flushing out of the, crypto, right? Bitcoin took a big dump. Ethereum took a big dump. And so altcoins took an even bigger dump. If you want to bring up coin market cap, we can talk about some of those price action we've had. And it's funny because all of this happened because an analyst put out a blurb saying that the SEC is going to deny all spot Bitcoin ETFs in the month of January. So you had a lot of longs, people leveraged up, and we saw a lot of liquidations. Obviously, you got Bitcoin's kind of bounced back. It went down, I think, as low as 41, and it's already popped back to 43. Ethereum, I saw drop down as low as like 2,100, and it's already popped back a little bit. So you're seeing that, like I said, these market gyrations we're getting right now, especially throughout 2024 with so many big news headlines, like it's all going to be leverage related. People are getting either super heavy on longs or super heavy on shorts, and the market's going to teach them a lesson with liquidating them. And that's why you get these fast drops, and then it gets bought back up.
Well, it's true. If you do the inverse Kramer trades, Kramer was talking about Bitcoin a few days ago, and every time he talks positive about an asset, you should know it's going to do the opposite. And then that's exactly what we've seen, the market flush down. So thank you, Kramer, I guess, for buying opportunity if that's what you're into right there.
I know, right? He did say that, you can't kill Bitcoin, and, it's only up from here pretty much. And so, that when I saw that tweet, I knew in my gut, I was like, dang, we about to see some red prices. We're just, hopefully, and my thesis is that I still believe we could see the spot ETF get approved. And I do think we maybe get one last big run for Bitcoin with that announcement. And then I think we might get, the real alt season, or mid alt season. I'm not saying blow off top type stuff or anything like that, but I think we'll see a mini alt season rally. And then from there, I think we could trade sideways down, depending upon what happens into the halving, and obviously into the election and some of the other big catalysts that we have looking forward for crypto.
Definitely still a big year happening. And then let's kick this off the right way right here.
Let's do it.
So let's welcome Juan Pablo, the CEO of TravelX, to the show. Welcome, Juan.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much for the invite, and happy to be here with you.
Most definitely. Happy to have you on the show. A lot of people are anticipating this interview. So again, thank you. So let's start off with a breakdown or like a overview of what TravelX is and what y'all are working on.
Okay, great. I mean, at TravelX, basically what we're doing is we're using blockchain technology to help the airlines improve the customer experience and their revenues. Basically, what we're doing is we're tokenizing air tickets and making an air ticket transferable, and this unlocks like a lot of different new use cases. So basically, right now, the airlines that are using our technology are letting their customers transfer the ticket to somebody else if they can't fly, they gift their ticket to somebody else, or resell their tickets to whoever they want on a marketplace that we have built for each airline, or even sell the ticket to the airline if the airline are getting more demand for specific flights and they want to buy back their tickets, the ticket that they have already sold to the customers, or they are enabling the customer move to a different flight and pay them a compensation for shifting flights. So these are kind of the use cases that tokenizing our tickets and make them transferable are enabling. So what we believe is that what we're doing is making our tickets a digital asset, and in this way we're building what we believe is like the evolution of our tickets, that in 2008 paper tickets became e-tickets, and so basically what we're doing is we're moving and evolving e-tickets into NFTickets, or what we call NFTickets. And as you can imagine, I am just describing some of the use cases that we are unlocking and we're enabling to the airlines and their passengers, but there are like endless opportunities and possibilities, and this is what it's coming soon.
Yeah, and obviously, we've seen you guys in the past, years building on Algorand have a lot of success with, some of the airlines you guys have brought on, and we'll get into more of that. Kind of tell our audience a little bit, what made, because me and C will, when we started the Next Block, we've been covering, a lot of the crypto blockchain space, looking for real world utility, platforms and projects that are actually trying to disrupt traditional industries, and TravelX fits that to a T. And I do think this is one reason why we chose to make a show predominantly focused on Algorand technology, because it does allow, because of its low fees and its fast finality and the ability to move assets very cheap, to build real world utility. Why did you guys choose Algorand? And did Algorand reach out to you, or was that your own independent research that led you to Algorand? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, great. I mean, we have chosen Algorand for different reasons. And we have taken this decision that, by the end of 2021, and basically was cost, performance, and also because they are like carbon neutral for the travel industry. That is extremely important. And at the end of the day, also because we got a lot of support from their side. It was mostly a coincidence, but we met Silvio Micali by October 2021, and I told him what we were doing. We showed him the prototypes and what was our vision, and he got mad about about this. If you remember at that time, talking about real world use cases was like, it was just the beginning, so basically he understood that this can be a real change, and it would be like a way of taking the whole travel industry into Web3. So we got a lot of support from their side, and that's why we have chosen Algorand.
Nice.
I seen some of like your advisors. A grown up big fan of Manu Ginobili, so I was like, oh, this is amazing, big fan. And then looking, like you said, Silvio Micali, he's big with AgroToken. So I think that is a great relationship. Can you speak on like kind of who y'all working with right now? We do know, or break down what Flybondi, and then I know y'all had another airline recently. If you want to speak on just how that relationship developed over time.
For sure. I mean, basically, we right now we have integrated two airlines. The first one is Flybondi. There is an Argentinian low-cost carrier, and the second one is Viva Aerobus, that is like the second largest Mexican airline. And basically, as I said, we are implementing with them like 4 main use cases. The first one is what we call, the NFTicket or smart ticket. That is basically, it enables that every single passenger, as 100% of the tickets are tokenized, every single customer can transfer, gift, rename, or resell their tickets. So basically, they are buying an asset that has liquidity, and the customers have full ownership of the asset that they are buying. That this is like crazy, because if you think about any asset that you buy on every day, basically you buy an asset and you can do whatever you want with it. I mean, meaning a cell phone, a computer, a car, a house, whatever. I mean, you buy it, you own it, you can do whatever you want. If you want to give it as a gift to your brother, to your cousin, or you want to resell it on Amazon, or you want to, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But you pay, $100, $200, $500, $5,000 for a ticket, for an air ticket. But at the end of the day, you are not you don't have full ownership of that asset, and that's crazy, because this means a lot of friction if you need to change your plans. And it's crazy because the aviation industry have naturalized this fact, and this means an awful customer experience, and this at the same time it puts like a cap on the revenues that the airlines can get, because basically an airline can get, they do one transaction per seat, and basically what we're doing is we're enabling that there can be endless transaction per seat, and the airlines can keep on collecting revenues every time there's a new transaction for that air ticket. And on the customer side, that basically you are buying an asset that is a much better asset, that it has liquidity, you get full ownership of that asset that you have bought, and as I said, you can do whatever you want. So basically, these first use cases that we have launched is that you can, as I said, transfer, give, rename, or resell your ticket. The other use cases that we have launched are, the capability of the airline of making offers to the customers when they find out, and we provide the technology to understand that when they have the chance to sell that ticket at a higher price to another customers. So basically, in this way, it's extremely good, not only for the airline and the passenger, but also to a new customer, because probably there might be a passenger, they want to fly on a specific flight because they need to get to a wedding or whatever, but if that flight is full. So basically, the airlines can, once that flight is full, the airlines can buy back a ticket and sell it to a new passenger. So it's great for everybody. The airline's making more money. The passenger that couldn't fly now can fly, and there's another customer that is getting some extra money. They have paid a ticket for, I don't know, for $100, now can get $300 for that ticket.
Yeah.
So this is like, it's good for everybody.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, especially with, me and my wife are actually planning to buy tickets to fly to go see family. And one of the things that's made us hesitant to buy it already, even though it's probably cheaper to buy in advance, we know that, but we're delaying buying our tickets, is because the only thing we can buy that gives us any assurance that we can move that ticket around or do anything is a thing that most airlines, I feel like in the United States, do, which is trip flexibility, right? So you pay an additional fee, maybe it's $100, $150, and they give you the ability to, change the date of maybe when you want to fly, or maybe entirely cancel up to 24 hours or something like that. But you really don't have the flexibility with what TravelX is doing with Flybondi and Viva Aerobus, with just fully being able to sell it back. I think that is a huge, huge thing. And I think it would give, just like you said, it's generating more profit, because it does give the ability that once that ticket is sold, it can be resold, and you probably wouldn't see as many instances like I know I've seen, where I go to the airline, I'm ready to board my flight, and they oversold. the flight, because
Yeah.
because they don't have any way to really contact those people and say, hey, we would like to buy your ticket back because we have more demand. There's no marketplace. It's just you're just kind of stuck with what you got, and you go to the airport and you cross your fingers hoping that you can get on that plane.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a lot of friction.
Yeah.
And basically what we have found out is basically more than 75% of the customers are not ready to pay, for that advanced flexibility. So, but what's happening right now is like customers are buying their ticket much more in advance because they do have these capabilities that they didn't have before. So they are getting, the early conversion is growing, a lot. So the airlines are getting liquidity because they are collecting their money before. Their demand curves are improving, and their total profits per flight is increasing. Their NPS, their Net Promoter Score per passenger is increasing. Their customer support is reducing because basically you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's not that you need to call the airline and tell them I can't fly, I want to cancel, but I want the money back, and the airline say, but you pay for a ticket with no non-refundable ticket, and I mean it's a whole. I mean, it's full. What we're doing is we're taking a lot of friction in a way that is it solves both problems, because basically there's a dilemma within the aviation industry that is customer experience and profits are like it's every decision is or increase profit but make a poor customer experience, or the other way around. Basically what we're doing is we're putting both things together. We're improving airlines profits, and at the same time we are increasing and improving customer experience.
Yeah, and that's good. Awesome to hear. Go ahead, Siwu.
Yeah, I want to, because it makes me think of like concert tickets and stuff. So what is the what's the process like for trying to stop scalping is the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, scalping of people who would want to, you guys going to Miami and they know that flight is happening and they want to buy up, all the first class tickets. Are y'all experiencing scalping or any other friction that has to do with just other customers competing against each other?
No, we're not. And basically what it is important is all the rules of, those smart contracts linked to, what each customer can do, each buyer and seller can do, and how much they will collect on the upside, how much they want to collect on the transaction fee, many tickets they can buy, what price. I mean, all these rules are managed by the airlines. So basically the airlines can configure, all these smart contracts in a way that they reduce any, all the risk, and and increase their potential profits. So and at the same, so this can be minimized or reduced to the minimum. On the other side, basically, if you think about at day one, there's one owner of all that full capacity. That is the airline. If there's a market where all the tickets of a flight can be sold at a really high fares, that's what the airline will do. If there's somebody, you know what I mean? It's like the airline can be the scalper, but if there's somebody that is ready to pay the risk of buying all those tickets, at the end of the day, the airline will sell will sell all those tickets at its own forecast, understanding what's the curve, the demand curve of that specific flight, and the scalper will take all the risk. And once they're selling those tickets, the airline will collect incremental revenues on that flight. So there are many ways that this scalping can be absolutely avoided.
Yeah, it seems like
or,
it
or
would
limited.
definitely be a lot of risk if you were someone wanting to, obviously maybe, maybe it pays off and that a certain holiday or a certain time frame, but like I said, you'd be then paying it probably at a premium from the airline, all that risk, and then you become, that's a big liability to possibly hold if it doesn't, if those orders don't fill and that demand's not there, or if they don't meet the, the price that would actually make you profitable, it would still make the airline profitable because, like you said, it's those, that money's being that ticket's being transferred multiple times, which every single time there's a fee to be collected there. A question I have, and this is also just as looking at what you guys are doing in South America, but also looking broader from a global perspective. One, do you see any competition with what you guys are building in TravelX in other parts of the world, other in North America, Canada, Europe, Asia, stuff like that, with some of these bigger airlines that are in these parts of the world? I'm thinking like a Delta or a Emirates, or other ones that are in, like I said, Asia and other parts of the country. Do you think that you guys can actually infiltrate those markets as well, or do you see maybe some of these giants seeing what you guys are building and trying to replicate and doing their own thing, or are you in talks with some of these bigger airlines?
Yeah. Basically, we don't at this stage we don't see any real competition. I mean, there are some other companies that they're doing like it's a part of what we're doing, like trying to build a use case. But basically, there's nobody that is, building like the infrastructure and the use cases, the solutions for the different use cases on top of it. And we are the only one that we are doing this at this stage. What we believe is, and right now we are in discussion with more than 100 airlines, in the US, in Europe, Asia, Middle East, not only in Latin America. And we can imagine that once this is becoming a standard, there might be probably some large carriers that would be tempted of doing, building this kind of technology by themselves. But what we understand is that at that stage, the maturity of what we're doing, is going to be so strong that it will probably would help us to come to them, and they will choose us, because, as I said, what we're doing is there are just some use cases, but on our roadmap we have a lot of new use cases that are linked to, as I said, converting air tickets into digital assets, that it will be really difficult for a newcomer or for an airline to build all these use cases. It's like, if you think about it, I mean, on top of a token, you can use your NFTicket as a collateral. I mean, there are endless payment options. I mean, you can even think about it. I mean, if you buy a ticket in advance, you can pay your customers, an interest of that ticket. You know what I mean? Well, the price of that ticket will be dynamic. Taking in mind who would be interested of paying and how much the airlines or other customers are ready to pay for that ticket. So it's basically, this is like it's going to take time. But I think that what we are building is gonna totally change the way we travel and the way we believe that. I mean, basically, what we're doing is a better travel. It's in 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Traveling will be totally different of how it is today.
Yeah. And to go on with that, I feel like it's almost like we had DoorDash, right? It's a company that got created that built the infrastructure that, like, if you're a restaurant and you want to get the easiest delivery, of your food to your customers, instead of going out and creating your own app, you're probably just gonna go look at, DoorDash and put your restaurant on there and pay the fees, and you just, integrate into what they've already built, because like you said, it's infrastructure. And I do think that, this is how legacy companies end up getting disrupted, and is because they're comfortable sitting at the top and sitting where they're at, and they're not really looking to continue to innovate. And then you have a smaller company who's really aggressive in the market, trying to find the bleeding edge technology to really improve, like you said, that customer support. And you kind of answered my question, but I'll kind of toss it, just to kind of get a little bit more maybe meat on that. But how long do you think, or how far away do you think we are from like actually seeing widespread adoption in the travel industry for NFT tickets or digital assets? And do you think that people will even know that they're buying NFTs, or do you think it'll just be just a really smooth user interface, digital asset type thing?
Okay, going back to both of your questions. Basically, what we are doing on our approach is much more like what we call a Web 2.5, meaning it's extremely important that nobody actually understand what technology they're using, or that they understand that they are that they're buying a token and their smart contract. I mean, at the end of the day, you as a customer, as a user, a passenger, what you need is a better experience, and you don't mind what is behind it. If you're on Web 3, Web 2, Web 4, whatever, and that's exactly our approach. You never understand what you're doing. As a matter of fact, for example, in Argentina, Flybondi, basically what they are calling this, the NF ticket, is like a ticket 3.0. And basically what they're saying that this is the best ticket in the world. And this is their marketing. I mean, you have just bought the best ticket in the world, the ticket 3.0. I mean, they never talk about Web3, blockchain, NFTs, whatever. And this is something that I think is really important, not only for TravelX or the travel industry. I think that that's a mindset that the whole Web3 and crypto world should understand. I mean, that instead of keeping, within the Web3 environment, they should, and customer, they should think on the other way. How do I got, that customer that don't even have a bank account, and make his experience much more better that he can get if he goes, I don't know, he's using any crypto exchange or whatever. So that's our approach, and that's what we're doing. And that was the second question. I don't remember the first one. Sorry.
The first one was just time frame of just like, how far away are we?
Okay, I give you an example. Right now, we are implementing, a number of airlines that represent 2% of the total global passengers, and that is going to happen in the next quarter. And so basically, we believe that this is going to take probably 5 to 6 years to make the NF ticket like the global standard. And right now we're in conversation that with Airline that represent 34% of the total global passengers. So basically, we believe this is coming. Of course, as always happens on technology adoptions, we're focusing on the early adopters that are mostly, innovative airlines that are, can take that can take a risk, that want to implement and adopt, new technologies, and that's basically what our focus is. But we believe that, sooner or later, Delta, United, American, will end up using, our infrastructure, because it's like, if you think about it, it's like it's a no-brainer. I mean,
Yeah.
if you as an airline can deliver a much better customer experience to your customers, at the same time you can, improve your profits, why shouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
And
So
this is what we is coming. Yeah.
Well, that's a great breakdown. What we're gonna do next is take our quick ad break. So make sure y'all get some water, anything. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're on episode 89. We have the CEO of TravelX, Juan Pablo. So I'm gonna pass it back to you, Crypto for Change.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned that you guys were in talks with a leading airline, obviously, who has a 30. I think you said 34, 32% of all global airline traffic and whatnot. And I'm sure there will be some sleuthers in our that watch our show that might try to figure out who that could be. I'm sure you can't tell us since you're still in talks with them, but it is exciting knowing that you guys are aggressively pushing. You said you're talking to over 100 airlines, and so that is bullish. And one thing, I guess, looking at your all's platform, right? And I know you recently launched the peer-to-peer marketplace, right? And that is something that I don't know if you want to break down the experience since launch on how that has performed for your customers, like what feedback you've maybe have gained from that, but also, would it be something similar, like something I'm trying to think of that would kind of, I guess, compare to it? Would it be almost like a kayak or a company that kind of just pulls together, rate, the ability to buy and sell stuff from, plenty of different, hotels and airlines and all that stuff? Or what is your ultimate goal for this peer-to-peer marketplace?
Okay, great. Basically, it is, as I said before, the experience is exactly the same if you're buying an air ticket at the airline, e-commerce, or at kayak or whatever. I mean, and that's what we're trying. We make it. We want to make it as simpler as possible, and basically that's a marketplace where every single customer they want to sell their ticket, they publish it there, and anybody can get there and buy a ticket. And probably every customer even doesn't know who is buying the ticket to, but it's a ticket that is departing from Buenos Aires to wherever, coming back. So the experience is absolutely very friendly, very natural, and it's almost the same as the experience on any other travel airline or travel agency e-commerce. And what we are expecting, basically, as you can imagine, we have delivered the previous use cases, the transfer, gift, and rename, and each one took between 50 and 190 days to get to a secondary rate. That it took six days on resale. So basically, the growth is becoming exponential, and we believe that this can be at the end of the day like on something that it can become like extremely relevant for the airlines, because basically, as I said, the airlines can define all the rules, how much they want to collect, who each type of users, how they can, the rules that will have. So basically, the end game is, like, as I said, make an air ticket and a digital asset that it can be like even an asset class, meaning it's like you can invest there instead of investing on whatever. Just buy your ticket for the next 3-year holidays, keep it there, you will get an interest, and any day that you want to sell it, want to change plan, I put it on sale, and that it, I think that things should be that way, and that's where we see, and that's our vision.
Nice. And obviously, yeah, we've definitely seen, your all's exponential growth just over the past 6 months. We've seen your all's tweets of, 1 million passengers hit, and then it was 2 million. It felt like, in a couple weeks. And then I think recently is mid-December, you guys had, or no, recently it was like, I think January was the 5 million passengers, are already, using the digital asset NFT tickets. And obviously, I don't know exactly what portion that's using the marketplace, but I'm sure those numbers are growing as well. What forecast wise, what are your all's goals to crush for 2024 or just even in the coming quarters as far as growth?
Okay, great. I mean, basically, the airline market, total market, it's about close to 5 billion passengers a year. It's 4.5 billion. So basically, we wanna get next year between 2 and 3% of that market, and get to more than 100 million passengers by the end of next year. And as I said, we believe that in 5, 6, 7 years, our infrastructure or the NFTicket should be like the industry standard, and be capable of getting most of the not only the early adopters and like low cost carriers, but the major network carriers. And as I said, we are already in conversation with them. It takes time, not only the sales process, but also the implementation takes longer with the network carriers. But as I said, I think that by the end of the next year, we should reach more than 1 million passengers.
So when it comes to like meeting with these airlines, what are some like friction or concerns that they talk about of doing this technology and implementing and adopting this new emerging technology?
I mean, there's nobody that is like concerned about the technology itself. I mean, if you're using blockchain technology and smart contracts and tokens, it's basically much more secure technology. The data integrity is much better. Everything is in terms of I mean, everything's better if it's better if you think about just the technology. The question is when you're talking about the use cases of this technology, and basically some of the major airlines are concerned about these peer-to-peer use cases, but basically what we and they are all happy with all the airline to peer. I mean, as basically the airline to peer use case is basically a market where there's one single buyer, that is the airline, so they can manage everything. And on the peer-to-peer use cases, basically understanding their concerns along these 18 months, basically we have developed all these configuration tools that enable the airlines to define, to parameterize all the rules that give them confidence and control. And basically that's our approach. Okay, let's launch these peer-to-peer use cases in a way where you keep a lot of control and start opening a bit and see what's happened, and understanding that all the results and behavior, customer behaviors. Basically, you can take decision on how do you want to parameterize it in different ways. So and in this way, the airlines get more understand that they can get a lot of benefits with a really small risk.
Yeah, it definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, because in the U.S., the main issue here with blockchain versus crypto. First, trying to define those two. Crypto is it's what it is, and blockchain is the underlying technology. But then we have our regulators seem to be kind of against crypto, so it's been stifling a lot of industry. We had Jerry Chu Lofty AI, which is a real estate company. They're doing tokenized real estate, but they have been also very successful. And people are interested in that. So it just make me curious about what's the Argentina's government, the Mexican's government is thinking in regards to this technology. And it seems like it's a lot more progressive.
No, I mean, even in the US, as a matter of fact, we have already signed an agreement with a US carrier. Basically, I mean, this is, as I said, we're using blockchain technology, but the airlines can enable the crypto payments, but that's like a decision that can make. But as a matter of fact, you can do everything without even using any crypto at all. So as I said, you use your credit card, Apple Pay. I mean, it's like this is not crypto.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of like Web 2.5. It's in between. It's maybe at one point it will, you could have that ability to pay for your tickets in Bitcoin or whatever your favorite digital asset is, but you're not focused on and rightfully so, you shouldn't be, but you're not focused on the crypto investor and impressing them. You're worried about impressing the the largest airlines out there with the infrastructure you guys have built, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the first the first thing that we have developed and launched 1.5 years ago was a full crypto marketplace. So everybody was, I mean, with USDC, you were able to buy, sell, tickets, but it was close to the crypto community, and it was fine. And we, there were a lot of transactions. There was a lot of hype around it. But basically, what we found out, especially with the crypto winter, is basically that we should build something that it can be open to anybody. that don't even understand what crypto Web3 means. And that shift is what is like open up, all our pipeline and, all the major, most airlines to say, okay, now I am ready. Because basically what we're doing is, there's not a single problem with regulators, not even in the US. So it's like, if you think about it, it's a no-brainer. This is a question of time. We believe that we will be the standard infrastructure, but we can be or maybe somebody else, but this will happen. I mean, it's like, if you think about it, in a few years' time, most real world asset will be tokenized, because it has so much advantages.
Yeah,
that's where it's at now, because like I gotta take a flight in a few days and I'm like, I want to extend my trip, but we looking into, and it's like we basically got to buy a brand new ticket because we didn't do what Crypto for Change said. We didn't buy all the extra few $100s worth of, if I want to change security money. And that is a big friction that we're seeing it, and that's something that, so we're hoping, TravelX can expand and definitely, integrate into the market. It seems like y'all are definitely focused on business to business, and I think that is a great thing. The customers are already there. We're always flying, and the US, this winter for the holiday season was like, all-time high, it seems like, in travelers. And a lot of people were getting stuck at airports. You had issues with Southwest Airlines, with their data. And if they were using this type of technology, I think it'll definitely be so much more seamless. So I can see it growing for sure. I'm already a fan, and I want some NFTickets right now.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm hoping whoever you guys are talking to in the United States, as far as airline, I'm hoping it's one that flies out of Tampa, St. Pete, and I can take advantage of it. I'd love to be able to try out your all's technology for sure. And obviously, maybe I have made a few trips down to South America, so maybe in the near future, we'll be able to test it out. With traveling down there. Something that's interesting, Sewell even mentioned it or talked about the company. We had Jerry Chu on from Lofty AI, and they're also building tokenized real estate on Algorand. And they just recently launched their AMM liquidity pools, as a way to, like I said, keep that liquidity right on your platform and in, kind of in the hands of, the real estate kind of area over there. But I'm thinking, like, is that also a selling point when trying to help these airlines get over the risk, is, with your all's marketplace, is having that liquidity instead of just once it's sold, kind of letting it go and not really being able to do anything with it? Like, is there a way that you could have liquidity pools of airline tickets in something similar there, or?
Absolutely. We think that will happen. I mean, but, at this stage this is going to take time, and it is, probably it is too early to go to an airline and start talking about liquidity pools. You know what I mean? But this will happen. If you think about it, if you want to buy a ticket, more than 11 months in advance, you can't. The industry is not ready for that. Why? It's like the whole industry have been built, on with these rules that attempt to advance booking. But basically, why couldn't you be investing on in liquidity pools or flight ticket from Miami to London on 2025? Why not? Or 2027? What, it will happen, and that will be great, because this is going to bring a lot of liquidity for the industry. This is going to bring a lot of new customers to the industry. Why couldn't you pay in the weekly installments for a trip leaving in 2 years time? Why not? It's and why this can be managed by, like, a smart contract that enables you. It's endless what you can build when you think about tokens. But the point is, this should be done, step by step. understanding
Yeah.
how to add value and to deliver, products that the use cases that the airlines understand, and they, can understand very simply, the value that they are getting, and then on top of that, there are going to be not only 4, 5, 6, 10, and as I said, hundreds of different use cases and possibilities that the airlines will take advantage of.
Yeah. I mean, heck, just talking to you, and obviously I followed, TravelX and everything, just hearing your excitement for what TravelX is doing, you got me wanting to be like Manu Ginobili and becoming an investor in TravelX. But obviously you guys are not. That's the one thing I will say when being in the crypto space is, you have all these projects that launch, that are on, that are creating a DeFi or whatever they're doing, and they have a token, and that's, where a lot of people see the investment. But, is there any way of, to actually, is everything still private as far as investing in TravelX as a company? And if there's, or do you have to be an accredited investor, or is that closed? Or, I don't know if you have any insight there, but is there any way if people want to support and actually invest in what you're building, is that still open or available?
The reality is we have been thinking about, as you said, like making it simpler and enabling, instead of a few VCs, venture capitalists investing, opening it up to support funds, customers, but we didn't do it. But this might be something interesting to think about this year.
Yeah, for sure.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah, because I'm ready to go. Like, yeah.
I was about to say, I know
there.
I know there's a lot of people in the Algorand community that would love to, be able to, and even our show, something we'd like to do in 2024 in the coming years is become a venture capitalist, have an arm of that, from our show, and seeing great projects, like, just knowing that, like what you said, it's going to happen. It's like, looking at the world that we live in, tokenized real estate's going to happen, tokenized airline tickets is gonna happen. Everything's gonna be tokenized. So it's like, who wouldn't want a piece of that? If you can get in early. And like I say, it's exciting hearing, what you guys are building.
When I think about like airlines too, with the airlines, right? If I was a big airline, I can already see my earnings per share going up. Because you talking about all those and it's like that's almost a no-brainer. And then, as you said, with the peer-to-peer, they're going to continuously, earn more money off of that one ticket over and over. And it helps everybody, as a customer. So it just, it's a great idea. But definitely the Algorand community was like, ask them if we can invest in this TravelX company right now. That's what they wanted us to ask, for sure. So, whenever y'all do have that answer, you're going to have a lot of people piling in. That's what we're seeing.
We'll think about it. I will think about it.
Yeah. So as we slowly start to close out, is there any other highlights you would like to share, or any updates or alpha you would love to give to the audience?
I'm not sure. I think that mostly that be close, because 2024 is a year with a lot of new, a lot of great things are coming, both on the adoption side, but also on the products and use cases. So I think this is going to be a great year. We have, as I say, we started with new solutions with and use cases with new airlines, and we will be announcing very soon some new large carriers, and be ready when we open up our our capital for new investors.
Yeah, there we go. I was about to say,
I will really think about it.
Yeah, you did share some alpha. I mean, heck, now we know that TravelX is looking in, talking with airlines in the United States, talking with some big ones as far as like, the share of volume that they currently have in the market. And so obviously, looking to a big 2024 and, from the Next Block and from the Algorand community, obviously we wish you guys nothing but the best of, well wishes in 2024 and continuing to grow. And obviously you have our support as well to come back on the show to talk all about, later on in the year, some of the accomplishments that you guys have made. So just want to thank you again, Juan Pablo, for coming on the show, and look forward to seeing your success.
Thank you very much, Crypto for Change and C Will. I really enjoy the show. So hope to show you in the coming future.
Excellent. Thank you, Juan Pablo. If you could just wait a moment backstage, we're going to close out right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.